today at the races. Callie Francois with Keith Fustel, as per usual, guiding you through this 9-race card here today, Saturday. Made it okay yesterday, Keith.
Yeah, we didn't have any real grandiose prices or huge payouts. You had to go to the last race for Major Houlihan at $14 and some change to get it done for Hugh McMahon. But yeah, some good performances. Hats off to Gene Brasino for a couple wins yesterday. Claudie Boy and Compass Rises, Nest with 2. They were back-to-back, 2x2, and then part of the entry, Irish Exit, got it done in our feature.
That was a great ride by Xavier Perez, by the way, that I thought, on the Jamie Ness horse, Irish Exit.
Yeah, got up there, got in position, a little 4 wide, aggressive move top of the stretch, a little drift in late, but got it done. But, yeah, Indian Lake got you started for Kieran, attack mode. I told you, he's not scared.
No.
Pay attention. It's had a perfect trip, patiently handled by Toledo, worked outward for the lane and went clear. So all in all, yes, our value play got nipped late. Aliferous, as you talked about, the Keel Barn doing very well, though. Keep an eye on these runners. She'll be riding today in race 5. So we have the amateur riders here this afternoon. Race 5 going long on the turf. And tomorrow, don't forget, Dan Illman will be here joining me in the morning. Doing the morning show as we got Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash Day, 3 other stakes, well over $500,000 in purses. Looking forward to that. Another good racing card here at Laurel Park.
You and Dan always putting on a great morning show prior to those stakes races. Let's take a look at what we've got going on today for our racetrack, of course. Track is fast, turf is firm, Keith. We're a little cloudy. Those clouds have kind of moved away today.
Absolutely gorgeous right now. I mean, again, I beg you every day, get out here, enjoy it. Grab yourself a cold beverage from Karen, the pizza lady. If you want to go into tips, take advantage of that. We have multiple choices for food and beverage. Lots of options for everybody. So if you can make it out today, please enjoy. I like looking down, seeing that live crowd as I'm calling the charts up above. And I know Dave likes that as well. Gets us a little bit more motivated.
Absolutely. No, beautiful day to come out here on the races. We would love to have you, and we would so much appreciate you guys here. But let's start things off in this first leg of the early pick 5. In this maiden claiming 20,000, going 5.5 on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5-year-old. Scratching the 8. And Keith, you go with the number 4 on top. Kind of Fondo Wanda here for Katie Voss with the blinkers on, and J-Ron Barbosa on as well.
Been chasing old Wanda.
Yeah.
Haven't caught Wanda yet.
It's okay.
Wanda getting the blinkers on. Barbosa today. Final shot. Had some trouble last time out in the Holanui race. Kind of got pinched back a little bit at the break. Inside, never really showed any interest till about the last 1/8 of a mile, and he picked it up from there. I'm going to come back. I think there's a little bit of speed in here. Things could get a little bit contested up front, but the value, I think, is going to be there for Kind of Find a Wanda at 8-1. Holanui, the 1, I think your top selection, the horse to beat. A lot of early money. Here's this race again. Way back there was my value play here in the opener. Kind of fun. Just keep an eye on that one through the stretch, last 1/8 of a mile. But Holanui, I thought, ran very, very well in its turf debut. Took money, bet down to 7-2, makes this 3-4 wide advance. Looks like he kind of pokes ahead, maybe a nose in front. Here coming to the 16th pole, continues willingly, but Tick-Tock Daddy able to save ground, move inside. Saving ground is critical, especially at this level in these turf sprints. A lot of times you get hung wide. That run, especially to the second wire, does not sustain. That was the case there, but a beautiful draw for this one-horse Holanui here today for Kenny Cox and Angel Cruz.
4-1-7-10 for Keith Fusel there in race number 1. Race number 2, Keith, you have your early pick 4 ticket here today for us. Starts off with a single.
And that opener real quick, Laddie Dance. Can't forget about Bobby Lee. How about that bomb the other day at 50-1? You're not going to get that. But Laddie Dance, again, hampered a little bit by that outer flow, but still tried to the wire. I will use that one into the mix. Early pick 4, singling the deuce to get you started. Margie's Fun Son. We'll run you a little stat here in a minute. For Ness, it's a cheap ticket, $9. 3 deep in race number 3 with the 6, 7, and 9. Interesting to see what kind of play this firster gets for Brittany Russell. We'll talk about the breeding on that one. Race 4, 2 deep. 1 in the 5. Could be a little bit more of a spread. Tromby scares me going scent the dirt. You never know there. A little bit of a dart throw. Wrap it up. Race 5. 5, 6, and 7. Amateur riders coming in on the bowl game turf course at 1 mile. Interesting race. A little bit of a shot play in there at a 10-1 morning line. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. But $9, something simple, If we miss on the 2, come back with a pick 3 in races 3, 4, and 5.
Exactly. As we start this first leg into claiming 20,000 back on the dirt here, which have never won 2, going a one-turn mile, second wire finish here. Scratches in the number 5 and the number 7. Keith, you and I both land on the number 2. Margie's fun son, Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez. Let's take a look back at that last out effort that was just a near miss.
Yeah, popular claim. Claimed out of his last 2 races. Form is good. Unfortunately, he's just 1 for 16, 10 for 16 in the money. But what I like about him, he's still giving effort and running to the wire. This particular afternoon on the 14th was under a pretty good ride from the 3/8 pole. Shifts out about 5, 6 wide through the stretch. Closes to just miss. Money Room able to get the early jump. But Margie's fun son, determined. Might have been listed as scratch like a week later. Given this kind of break, though, I like Ness off the claim with the dirt routes. Look at that. Last couple of years, 20 for 48, 41%, 36 of 48 in the money with these dirt routes first off the claim. A little bit of a break there. 224, I tell you, awfully strong.
Right.
Scratch the 5, scratch the 7. You know, not interesting to see how this race is going to kind of unfold. Got to be proud stretching out for Allard. I think we'll be forward, along with Cavendish with the blinkers going back on. Jay, possibly. Bill of Rights, I thought, did his better running from off the pace, but I hate to say I could trust a 1 for 16. I guess you can't thoroughly trust it, but I like the sustaining run. This horse is bringing the right kind of company. Mixes Lucky Starfire came back to win on a drop and win clear. The 2 in here for me. Got to be proud. The 6, we go 2-6, line it up, Callie.
Yep.
Good effort last time out at Delaware. Stretching out now. Sprinter route, a little bit of a sprinting lean when you go through the breeding bottom side especially, but 25% reached out and grabbed me for Ned Allard. Does quality work, got a good horse in tomorrow in the stake. Dean delivers and a positive ROI. Prompts early. Can he kind of hold this closer off? We shall see. Cavendish, yes. Bill of Rights hasn't been seen since January. Avoided claim there for 25, but was in very good form prior to the break. I like this horse sitting just off the pace.
Yep.
Looking at his races, though, there's not a lot of true speed. He could be fresh forward with Boca Chica. 2-6-3-4 in race 2.
We get back to the turf for race number 3 in a maiden claiming 45, going a mile and 16th on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Scratches in the 5, 10, and 14. Keith, you have the number 7 on top. Captain Dusty, Sarah Nagel, Jamie Rodriguez team up. Let's take a look at that effort at the mile last time out.
Sarah Nagel, the runner, doing well, and this guy hasn't run a bad race. He hampered by some trouble 2 races back, going the mile at Laurel, comes right back at you. This maiden 45, waived the claiming price, and really ran a great race. Had a great trip from Caramanos, that inside-out trip that I love so much. Unfortunately, Cakes Arrow got the jump. We had to wait just a little bit at the 5/16 pole. This Cakes Arrow was a Brittany first off the claim. He'd run some big numbers down at Gulfstream, but look at that finish. A valiant effort through the final 16th of a mile. Extra 16th does not concern me one bit for Captain Dusty. We got J-Rod today.
Stowe on the World. You have in your exacta here for Carrie and J-Ron Barbosa. Last time we saw them was mid-June. Has been entered 3 different times, 3 different scenarios, and 3 different only 2 different reasons. 2 were off the turf, 1 was a race canceled. So no scratches via vet, steward, trainer. So those were just kind of conditional scratches.
And the thing you're looking at, it just jumps out at you. Claim for 40, given a long break from August of 23 to June. In for 16. They got away with it. Protect mode here today for the barn. 45,000. Closed into that lone speed. Bellamy's another one that ran good numbers down at Gulfstream on the turf course down there. Was first time Nolan Ramsey was able to control it. Things might get a little bit more contested up front today. Stolen the Wool. Protect move will rally into it. I certainly believe here for Kerry Bryan. And we've got Barbosa. That's the rider change there. No Carlos Lopez. Barbosa going to be riding Stowe on the Wold. So that was a really good effort. Born Dance, you look a little bit further down on the page. One of those winners has come back and won an allowance. Has run against some good horses in New York. So, yeah, I like your top selection. And here you've got the 13. I'll talk about the 6 a little bit.
Yes.
Also in the fold for you. Cocktails at noon. Yeah, we're always good for that.
Yes, absolutely.
By Violence can obviously get you a first-time starter to win. Like the family. Have to, it's Viper. That guy might have only been dirt. Jester Calls No Joy. Danger Zone.
Yes.
2-time turf winner. Mare Was Good. 3-time winner on the turf. 1 long, topped it in 89. We saw this owner-trainer combo hit a couple weeks ago with Encore Commentator, who came back after that race. They won it going long, came back to run big again. Steady works coming in. Certainly should appreciate the turf. It's getting that distance, but she measures these horses up just fine. She's got plenty of competition within the barn to see what she's got, so pay attention to the 6 Cocktails at noon. Mr. Flowers, interesting, just got really keyed up after hitting the gate last time out. Was tough to settle. The blinkers come back off. Back numbers could be the controlling speed here today.
7962 for Keith Fusel there in race number 3. Race number 4 starts the Rainbow Pick 6. I couldn't find a single on my ticket. Keith, feel free to shout one out if you want to suggest to these guys. I ended up with a $28.80 ticket. We go 2 deep in races 4, 7 to 9, 3 deep in races 5 and 6. You kind of have to go a little bit. I would suggest going, as wide as you possibly can in race number 5, just due to the fact that it's our amateur race there. But pretty competitive in these last couple of races. Easy to kind of pick apart race number 7 with just those top 2 finishers. If that's one you kind of want to put a preference on as far as your single goes, maybe that's the direction to go in race number 7. But a $28.80 ticket here for this Rainbow Pick 6 in this maiden claiming 30,000, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 2-year-old fillies.
Yeah.
Keith, you have the number, as I go to my other one, 1. And boys go to Jupiter. Carry Holbein, Johan Rosado, blinkers on at 10 to 1.
Well, a little Jack Harmon here, 1-5-5-1. The Hammer graced us with his presence yesterday in the press box, but and he'll be full time, I think, at Timonium this year.
There we go.
The Hammer, watch out for him. Yeah, boys go to Jupiter. I thought that was a pretty good race. It came out of last time out. Yeah, she only ran a 23 buyer. Bourbon and Lace came back to just miss for Brittany. First Pro went to Delaware, Gallop for Gary Cat. She showed some sneaky speed right out of the gate. The first 7, 8, 9 jumps, and then just kind of said, drop back. I don't know, just got a little discouraged, but finished up okay. Worked outward through the lane, passed a couple horses. Blinkers going on. Small sample, yes, a little bit of success. Might have to deal with Blessed Candy, but I think a little more focus. We got Rosado today. Right from the rail. Let's see if this one brings that speed again. She may just keep on going, not seeing anybody else with those blinks. Let's see.
The number 5 on the outside, we have to mention another hope. Gina Robb, Xavier Perez, blinkers on, 7 to 5. Why not? And you also kind of wrap things up with the number 4 and number 3 underneath, Blessed Candy and Oodles and Boodles.
Oh, Gina Robb's done great work. Everything, positive ROI for the most part for her runners. Have done well with these early horses. I'm sure we'll see a couple over to T-Berg over there getting ready from this barn. It's ownership group. So, I think you got the blinkers on a little bit more focus. Show the willingness to finish. You're going to need that here going out to 6 furlongs for these 2-year-old fillies.
Why not? The number 3, Oodles and Boodles, kind of scares you a little bit from the synthetic to the dirt here for Trombetta.
Yeah. There's still a little bit of more of a lean of turf and synth when I dug a little bit deeper, but it is out of a winner family. That mare won the debut. Yeah, these kind of moves always scare me. I hate getting beat by them.
1-5-4-3 there for Keith Fusel in race number 4. Race number 5 is the late pick 5, back on the turf and claiming 20,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. Going a mile here, short to that first turn. Keith, you go with the number 7. Go Take Charge. Catherine Nielsen, Jose Vargas. Again, this is the apprentice race, or the amateur race here today. So kind of leaning, kind of centering our picks. I'm centering my picks a little bit around that.
Yeah, and obviously not the deepest of experience all the time when you're looking at in competitive racing. So I went back, I watched a couple of these races, watched the race at Delaware, Go Take Charge, and kind of liked a little bit from what I saw from the riders, and no knock on any of them. But this is always interesting. They've got to be ramped up, excited to show their talents.
Absolutely.
But Go Take Charge is interesting to me. Yes, just broke the maiden, took 22 times to get it done. Sometimes we see horses follow up like that.
Right.
But was hung out wide, settled early, worked outward to 3/8 and sustained. We're going to need to see a little bit more ground saving trip, I would say, from the backstretch 3/8 and then work outward. Let's hope. But Vargas did a nice job getting his horse to finish. It was a nose bob there at the wire. The other horse, the runner-up, but was ridden by Jatniel Ramos, who I thought looked very good. This falls on Robbie's horse, Awesome Strike, who had some trouble last time. Top of the stretch, can bring a run. There is some speed in here. This opening quarter to half mile is going to be interesting. You look at horses like Landslide is home. Reap what you sow. Mike the Bomb. Mike the Bomb's the proven speed going long and held very well. I lay this one into the ticket as well. The 6th horse, Mike the Bomb, with Eduardo Leva Flores. Hope I pronounced that right. But things could get really interesting up front with those speeds.
Right.
Because Landslide is home, had a little trouble, showed speed, a 22, 144 and 3, half in that sprint. This horse might be really raring to go early. Reap what you sow, make a little bit of an early run. I'm looking for horses to make a run from off the pace.
Yep.
I think we've got a little value in the 7 to 10 to 1 morning line. I like your top 2 selections, Callie. La Creme, we've got a video spotlight of this one. Also breaking the maiden last time at Delaware. This filly is going to take on the boys here this afternoon, but the blinkers went on, and the score, was done. Got the score last time out, and really got a great ride. Gomez, very patient, saved some ground, worked outward, and got it done with a charge to win going clear. This is maybe kind of all that she needed. She's got a good race on her page last year. Gray Vixen, 4 for 11, who she he's up with, a recent allowance winner. So, yeah, Philly, I'm fine with that. I like the form that La Creme brings to the table here with the blinkers on, and jockey Shelley Brickley.
Yeah, fun little race that we have coming up here in race at number 5 as we move on to race number 6, where we will come to right back after these commercials. Welcome back here to race number 6, where it starts no jackpot super high five wagering in this race. Starts the late pick 4, is in this maiden claiming 20,000 on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-old. Scratches in the 2, 4, and 9. We're gonna go ahead, Keith. Let's chat about your top selection in car ride. Carlos Mencia, Angel Cruz. Obviously, getting back to the dirt is gonna be the best one.
That's the key. I really don't love anybody in here. 5 starts for car ride, 3 seconds. And the lone Hig had an excuse, jostled in tight. No parts of going long on the turf. I think the 2 back race is good enough. Shortening up back to 6 furlongs today on the main track. I think Northern Cardinal's probably going to go ahead and go from the outside. But car ride, anything close to those other races without the trouble in the dirt can stalk, pounce, move into it, and get it done.
Why not?
Lucky Prince also ran against car ride. Another one. It flashed some real good ability, I thought. Sneaky race in debut. Up, back, up again. Late, only beaten 3 behind Jay. There's car ride, very close. 7/8, got caught in a battle, an extended duel, just to fade a little bit. Maybe just takes to rating today, sits off Northern Cardinal, then goes on the attack mode mid-turn. The 3-horse, interesting here, Beach Cowboy for Stidham. Maiden special weight, the maiden claiming always a strong angle to pay attention to from barns like this.
Right.
Out of productive races. That's what I really kind of drew from both of those fields. Yes, in trouble in debut, into a very quick flow to flatten last time out. And out of that race in the debut, the 8th place finisher came back to win. Most recently, horses ran big numbers out of that race. I mean, we got one of the horses ran like 70. I think another horse ran a high 70, lower 80.
Yep.
Facing the right kind, and Indy just needs a cleaner trip here with J-Rod.
6-7-3-8 for Keith Fusel in race number 6. Back on the turf for race number 7 in this allowance, going 1 mile and 16th. You go with the number 8 on top. This is Nicolar. This is for Hugh McMahon, Gina Vello. You can always expect an honest and good ride out of him coming back to this allowance level.
Yeah, Nicolar I thought ran pretty well. Had no pace to run into last time. Very slow. Took to some rating down the backside, worked outward, closed up late. It was just too late. Gets the mile and the 16th today. Loves this turf course. I think she's third back. Yeah, third back off a little bit of a break. I think it works. I'm going to seek out a little bit of value. The key to this race is Yada. Motion. Lasix on off the break. We can go to the video spotlight for Yada if we can. That's great. You look at her page, look at who she's kept company with. Is she going to be ready to really go right back? This move with the fillies hasn't been a real profitable one. It would not surprise me with the way this barn's going, but Yada off a slower pace, had the draft back, was in a little tight out of the break. Well, she's in between horses here. I like the willingness to the wire, improving form as a 2-year-old. Now, first start at 3, LASIK's going on. If you project any kind of improvement, yes, she's a winner.
Right.
She goes up and jumps into that 78 range, 80 range. Certainly, you look at the company lines. Zona Verde, I think, recently ran second, big second at Del Mar. Come on now. It'll be interesting. The flow, Planet Claire from the inside, I think, for Carrie Brianna. Good effort last time. Got a little hampered. 8th pole. I mean, coming that gap at Delaware was a little, herded out. Got back, still trying to the wire. I think you'll see her right to the front, try to nurse things along. Possibly La Pachanga. This horse has shown speed in the past. We'll go ahead and force the issue. I'm going to need that to happen to set things up for Nicolar.
Yeah.
So, Yada, horse to beat. Go Chanel. Interesting rise for this Damon De La Devico runner. Barn got a win yesterday for Repstock with Faith and Liberty.
Yes.
Good score there. Took a lot of money late. But Go Chanel, trouble last time out. Checked at the break. Little ranking behind horses into the first turn. But ran it was a good third. I mean, almost got second. Up behind Princess Givenchy. She's a killer on the turf. I mean, she's an allowance winner. She's been through this condition. She was, I believe, second or third in a pretty good state-bred stake.
Yep.
The improvement here is what I like. I mean, she had a lot of willingness after that early adversity. I'm not going to throw her out of the mix at a 10-1 morning line. The way I'm going to play this race, it will be the 4 and the 8 top and bottom with some horses because that's going to hold my best value. Yada's going to be. You got the scratch of Juniper Juice. Yada, I think, is definitely going to be around 4 to 5 even money when it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
Now.
Absolutely.
Yep.
8, 4, 3,
but a nice
1.
filly.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
8, 4, 3, 1 there for Keith Fustel in race number 7. Race number 8 back on the dirt in an allowance as well. Going a mile for the girls 3 and up. No scratches there, Keith. You have the 1 on top. And Ginger Girl right on the rail for Joanne Schenkel and Thais Laipustina.
Yeah, we can roll right to the video, guys. Thank you. Ginger Girl Rousey Express out of that race on July the 6th. And, a little trouble here. Out of the break, into the first turn, you're going to see Ginger Girl drop in. There's Rousey, right? Rousey kind of went to the inside. That's a Ginger Girl's the 3. I'm getting
we're mixed up here, but Rousey Express on the inside.
Cocktails
there.
at noon, anybody? Yeah, there you go. But anyhow, you saw that. Had to check steady, a little stumble, and then had to, lost ground 2-3 wide from there. Makes the challenge where Rousey Express was able to save some groundwork outward and brought that run. I just thought that early adversity took a little too much out of Ginger Girl. She's 2 for 2 at this 1-turn mile at Laurel. Holding form. Laipustina knows her. But she's going to have to work for it. I don't think this is an easy race whatsoever. I think you got to pay attention to Mavelis. Mavelis going back out to the mile off that 7/8 race was willingly off the duel. Was beaten by Ginger Girl 2 races back. She's won this. She's done this before. Sprinter route, getting it done. It's been a long time. When I have the date, you got to go back 13 months since a win for Mavelis. Don't discount her on her best. I think she'll be moving into it that final 1/8 of a mile.
1-5-2-3 for Keith Fusel there in race number 8. Race number 9, we are end things up on the turf on Saturday in a claiming 45, which number 1-2, going 5.5 on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the 5, scratch in the 6. You and I both go with the number 7, Art of Courage on the outside.
Yeah.
Horacio De Paz, Javian Toledo, presumably your speed of the race.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, she's got speed, Callie, but maybe not so fast. I mean, you got Irish Heroes quick.
Right.
We're going to see what he does taking to the turf. Big Enchilada. This is going to be first time Blinkers turf.
Yep.
Even Destin's Rainbow, a little bit of speed. But I think out of those races you're looking at in New York, that last race, pretty good, was able to control it. Might be able to prompt, just sit outside. I liked what came out of that last race, though. You double key. 2 runners scored at Saratoga, one with a maiden special weight winner, another with like a high maiden claiming. That bodes well. I think should get the jump on Happy John. Interesting in for the tag, going 3rd off the claim, getting back to the turf sprint. We've got video spotlight, I believe, from the 2-back race. Yeah. Tidewater, Happy John, Star Shopping. We're going to pick this up. It's spent enough clear on the lead. Happy John was able to kind of work out 5 wide, closes up willingly with that 74 buyer. It kind of jumps up and grabs you compared to this group. Just a little bit leery. Just a little bit at the price we're going to get. So I kind of had all the way on top here, but it was unfortunately scratched. So it leaves me with Art of Courage, Thunderlad, interesting, possible to take to some rating with the blinkers on and sit there and just be patient inside. It might bring a run.
With Irish Hero wrapping up your picks as 8, 7, 2,
Yep.
3 for Keith Fustel. Keith, let's dive into not a best bet, but a value play. You give us two today. You start your first one off in race number 1 on the number 4. Kind of Fondo Wando with the blinkers on Barbosa on 4. Katie Voss here.
Blinkers on is the theme of my value plays.
Yeah.
Again, been chasing this guy. Kicked it in late after trouble. Let's hope he shows a little bit more interest. And I'd like to see Barbosa just in hand, mid-turn, ready to move and unleash it through the stretch. Take the shot here at an 8-1 morning line.
And let's discuss your other value play in race number 4 on the number 1. And 10-1, boys go to Jupiter, Kerry Holbein, Johan Rosado on the inside.
Sometimes you go back and you watch these races, you just look at the running line, you're like, it really didn't show a lot. Yeah. This horse showed good gate speed, popped right out of the gate. And horses surrounded just kind of suck back a little bit. Boys go to Jupiter with the blinkers on. Let's go ahead and go from the inside, and maybe we can take a little pressure and keep on going.
Wanted to discuss the winner of the 90th annual yearling show, Dark Hollow Farm and Hillwood Stables. The Factor Colt kind of swooped and looped that whole show Sunday, July 21st at the Timonium Fairgrounds. The Hayden's Dark Hollow Farm came away victorious in 3 of the 4 classes. Their colt by the Factor, co-owned and owned with Alan Charles, Hillwood Stable, was the grand champion by this year's judge, longtime bloodstock agent Rick Abbott. They won 3 out of the 4 class, and this is the NHBA yearling show, open to all yearlings eligible for Maryland bred registration. Eligible for a $40,000 premium award, which is split annually, but it kind of just gives you a little bit of a precursor of what potentially you're going to be seeing down the line, either at 2-year-old sales and the 2-year-old races of what's going on. So what I love is that it just kind of opens that up right away. And Blofeld, who stands at Murmur Farm in Darlington, was the recipient of the Northview Get of Sire Trophy as the top Maryland sire of the show. In 2 classes, he had a total of 3 winners, including the Class 3 winning filly. So nice connections there.
Yeah, when Dark Hollow shows up at that yearling show,
it's done.
Guess what? They're going to get their picture taken.
It's totally done. It's the 3rd consecutive year that the grand champion was prepared and shown by the Dark Hollow Farm
You
crew.
got it. They did great work.
Oh, fantastic work. I love going. I was up there earlier this year looking at doing a little bit of a full visit, so they do a phenomenal job there. But Keith, thank you so much for joining us on the morning show. Again, Dan Illman tomorrow, who just walked by on set. He'll be here for the morning show tomorrow with you, Keith, giving a fabulous fabulous insight into the card tomorrow. 4 stakes tomorrow for the Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash, but we will continue on with Saturday racing before that, and we'll go to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck, everybody.